Status reports, day 2. Everybody who's expecting reimbursement should have received an email from me with some kind of form that either goes back to AIM, probably a Fresno, California address, so AIM administers the Utmost grant, so the financial person is actually located in Fresno, or to Mary Sheets at the University of Washington, which typically be the people that are here for notebook development. So if anything was wrong in the email I sent you, or you think something is not quite right with your reimbursement, good chance something isn't quite right, so let me know, because my records aren't the best. I'll go first with status reports. I guess the no stupid questions session, we had good attendance at that, and I think got a lot accomplished there, and did a lot of work with interacts with a few people, so that was the bulk. I finished my main patch last night, my main project, so I got that done and submitted, and there's some discussion on that already. Let me work around the room.
Should I go next?
I think so.
Well, I'm here for status reports today. Not in Canada.
Not in Canada, in the country.
Well, what did I do? I guess I pitched in a little bit with lack of stupid questions. Yeah.
Next, William.
Let's see, I wrote various code and I talked with Jason Grout about approaches to making things kind of like the Sage Notebook far more scalable and architectural issues.
I guess I've met a few people today. I hung out with the WebWork group and worked on documentation and a little bit of debugging, and that's about it.
Didn't do too much today. I wrote a patch to get the track Sphinx markup to work in introspection. That's about it.
The track Sphinx markup?
Yeah, there's a markup in Sphinx that for the reference manual you can put track and it puts a link, but that was working in the reference manual but not in introspection.
Ah, got it.
Okay, well, I played around a little bit with this interact.sagemath.org, and we work on all interact and put it up there.
Cool.
And think a little bit about what I'm going to say tomorrow.
Okay, still working on Sage in WebWork, and we've got one way to do it, and we'd like to have a much cleaner way to do it, I guess, so make it easier for people to actually do it easily. So that's what I've been working on, but it's very, very slow for me. I think it's me.
Susan, this is your time to remind people about the survey.
Yeah, we do have a survey after we're done here, so be sure to do it. It's linked on the wiki, and it's up on the board. Thank you.
Yes, I learned some from this morning lectures, plus I attended the stupid question session.
Those two. Everybody feel horrible.
And I did some practice, the web related to Sage project, and I learned a little more, and I'm continuing to learn more and more. That's it.
Yeah, I practiced some embedded function of Sage to combine the GeoGebra work with the Sage work together. Yeah, I will have a chance to show it later.
Okay. I want to talk to you about that too. That would be good to see. We'll go on the table first and then back on the corner.
Okay, well, I've almost got this abstract algebra cheat sheet done. Yeah, you want to focus in?
There it is.
I worked with several people on the abstract algebra quick reference sheet, and I'm working on a lab, calculus lab for multivariable calculus, and I need to learn a few more things about plotting in 3D.
You can look at, so I have a bunch of multivariable calculus worksheets that I've posted online.
Okay.
It might be interesting for you to look at those, because one talks about all the different ways to plot things for multivariable calculus.
So I've been using the last couple days to get ready to teach linear algebra again, and today I made a lot of really short worksheets that could be assignments for students, which I basically did by taking Rob's book and editing worksheets, copying them, and just taking 1 or 2 exercises and saying, do this in Sage, and so they're ready to go for the fall.
Great, so yeah, I again hung out with the web and WebWorks and Sage people and talked with them. And I also had some interesting conversations with Brad about a paper that he submitted that about triangles that's doable for high school kids, and something that I want to do with my my class. But he uses GeoGebra and of course Sage. So I look forward to working more with that.
I, besides talking with Bruce about that, I'm trying to rebuild Sage for Ubuntu 10.04, which doesn't want to work, and dealing with issues with Sage on the Android tablet. Interesting opportunities.
I worked with the group who are preparing a quick reference for abstract algebra cheat sheet, and I also talked to Tom about the syntax of some Sage exercises in his book.
So I finished my Sage worksheet on quadratic surfaces to go with the chapter that I wrote yesterday for the open source calc textbook, and I helped with the algebra quick reference sheet and getting myself up to speed on algebra for teaching it in the fall.
So I'm working on WebWorks Sage communication, and I'm talking to Sage single cell notebook server, the web service from Perl, and trying to get that to work then inside WebWork, which I now have it properly loading and everything, but it's I have to slowly dismantle WebWorks security layers to get it to work. So I'm working on that.
I submitted a couple of Interacts to the new Interact website just for fun.
Ooh.
Made myself a little account and put a couple up there just to make sure it worked. And then I had a nice conversation with Tom on the way to lunch about trying to figure out a good way to teach using Sage, sort of the process of using the computer as an investigative tool, like how do you get the students to make that transition. And then this afternoon I've spent more time converting old linear algebra materials to something more Sagey.
I guess I've spent most of the morning and afternoon working on nice interacts for my students to use that'll display data nicely for them. So the thing I've been working on this afternoon is functions that return interacts. So given a data set, you just type in decorated plot data and it'll output something with a bunch of options. Students can click to change how it looks.
Cool. So we'll ask the people in front to help us accommodate us with getting to the people in back. There you go, John.
I've been spending the day with the WebWorks folks working on several Sage things, converting some of my problems over to use some of the new tricks we've used.
So in the back.
Today I worked more on the linking in folders inside the notebook and trying to decide what exactly the architecture of the whole project I want to have is after a discussion last night, moving away from symlinks because I'll tell you about it later.
We should talk. Okay. Jason?
Get Tornado and Socket.js to work with the notebook.
Socket.io?
Socket.js.
Oh,
It's a different library.
Okay. Kenny?
Talked to a bunch of people about various projects. I guess most notably with Jason and Kyle yesterday about the possible folders, file names, and directory structure and stuff you can have instead of numbers. And also I briefly talked to William about Git, I guess, but that was pretty big. Also, I found out that my packaging wasn't quite as finished as I said it was yesterday, but now it is well and truly finished. Please review it. What else? Yeah, I've also been working on reviewing a bunch of stuff right now. I'm trying to get Math Jacks finally reviewed, so hopefully I can do that in a few minutes. Yeah, that's about it.
Today I worked with trying to clean up some of the kernel manager code that we've worked on before and putting things under test.
I've mostly been working on the theoretical side of my project, which is identifying permutation representations for small finite groups. And I also went to the stupid questions session.
I'll have to figure out a better name for that.
No stupid
questions.
Yeah. This afternoon I fixed some bugs on the Interact page, and I added an all posts page that's set up like a glossary, and I also edited some of the documentation and added more.
I worked on making interacts work in the IPython Sage shell.
Do they work yet?
No.
Okay. Cool. Did you already say, Rob, what you did?
All right, any logistical questions or?
I talked to Ray.
Okay, yeah, so tomorrow, 9:30 start. You can look at the schedule. I've added Gwen with her work with generalized interacts, functions that return interacts. She'll do a short demo of what she's been doing, so I think she's made a lot of progress in a day and a half, so that'll be a fun thing to see. So I think tomorrow morning will feel a lot like this morning. We've got a bunch of various short things going on. Please do your survey for us so that we can look at that, say, in the next half hour or so. So if you maybe do that before 4:45, we would appreciate that so that we can digest that and adjust for tomorrow and make sure we get sushi or other food requests accommodated. Sushi and chocolate.
More chocolate.
The utmost PIs have got a dinner meeting tonight, so if somebody would sort of take some responsibility for the room and just worry about security if people are leaving stuff laying around, and maybe tidy up the food in back if there's things that are going to spoil or need to be thrown out or covered up to keep for tomorrow. And I think that's probably most everything. Any